Round 10 of the FIM Motocross World Championship, and a wet and muddy MXGP of Russia, but it didn't stop Jorge Prado from grabbing his 7th foxhole shot of the season as Benoit Paturel fell on the Khmer Yamaha. Prado led from Thomas Kjær-Olsen and Pauls Jonas. Brian Boger's back there in 4th place. As the rain continued to fall and conditions became more treacherous, Thomas Kjær-Olsen grabbed the bull by the horns and took over the lead at the start of lap 2. Bas Vassen nudged his way into 3rd with that move on Prado. That allowed his teammate Lawrence also into a good position as well. Lawrence was now in 3rd. Vassen was 4th, Prado was 5th. Jeremy Seewer didn't make the best start, but he found his way further up towards the field, and he would eventually come home in 7th. Julian Lieber, though, had a difficult race, fell on more than one occasion, would eventually come home in 11th place, but it was a win for the 2nd time this season for Thomas Kjær-Olsen on the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna. Pauls Jonas was 2nd, Paturel was 3rd, in what was a great fight through the field. MXGP Race 1. And it was Tony Cairoli with his 7th foxhole shot of the year. Jeffrey Hurlings, his teammate, just behind him, threw off his spare pair of goggles as he went in pursuit of the 8-time champ. Bobryshev got a great start in 3rd, to the delight of the home fans. Max Anstey, though, was quickly into 3rd on his Rockstar Energy Husqvarna and gave chase to the 2 Red Bull KTMs. Roman Febvre started outside of the top 10, but then got himself into 5th and then fell. He then had to come in for a pit stop to change gloves and goggles, and would eventually come home in 10th place. Wilbo Yamaha's Arno Tonis also fell. He was in 7th, would eventually come home in 9th. On lap 10, Jeffrey Hurlings found a good line through the slot and was able to pass Cairoli to take over the lead. And around about the same time, Clement de Sal made that pass on Max Anstey to get himself into 3rd. Jeffrey Hurlings was victorious in race 1, Cairoli 2nd, de Sal 3rd, Anstey and Paulin rounded out the top 5. MX2 race 2, and slightly different conditions. It was still wet, but it was drying out fast. Jorge Prado with foxhole shot number 8. This time Benoit Paturel kept it upright on 2 wheels, came out in 3rd just behind Brian Bogers. None of these guys had a sighting lap, and it told as well because Thomas Kjær-Olsen fell on the opening lap and would not finish the race. The race 1 winner was out and would pick up no points. Up front, though, towards the end of the lap, Brian Bogers charged himself into the lead on his HSF Motorsport KTM, and he led for 5 or 6 laps. Benoit Paturel followed him through, but then he fell from the lead on lap 2. The Yamaha rider would eventually come home in 12th place. Pauls Jonas was having a difficult time but rode the patient game, eventually coming home in 3rd. Yet more drama for Paturel. Jeremy Seewer, though, found his way past Brian Bogers on lap 8, and the Suzuki World MX2 rider never looked back to take the win in Moto number 2. Brian Bogers was 2nd, Pauls Jonas was 3rd, Prado was 4th, Julian Lieber was 5th, and Alvin Osland put in a great performance to come home in 6th. The overall Grand Prix, though, for the 5th time this year, Pauls Jonas stood on the top step of the podium ahead of Jeremy Seewer and Brian Bogers. And the championship now looks like this. Jonas 45 points clear of Jeremy Seewer, with Olsen staying put in 3rd. Lieber and Paturel rounding out the top 5. But it was all smiles for the Latvian, Pauls Jonas, who overcame the odds here and defeated the weather to win on his Red Bull KTM. Round 10.
Yeah, you know, the second motor was really technical, and I think I learned my lesson in Indonesia to rush the things, and today I was a little bit more smart, and you know, especially in the second motor, you had to be really smart on some uphills because the ruts were really deep and it was difficult to get up there.
MXGP race 2, and this time from the outside it was Roman Febvre on the Monster Energy Yamaha who picked up his 3rd foxhole shot of the season. Behind him, Max Anstey and Clement de Sal, and Tonis was well placed in 4th. Jeffrey Hurlings fell at turn 1, 50 yards later he was down again, and on lap 2 he was down again at the bottom of one of the hills and was lucky to pick himself up. Anstey was lucky to stay on track in 3rd place. Roman Febvre got caught behind back markers, and that allowed Clement de Sal to close in 2nd place. Jeffrey Hurlings was on a charge. He made that pass on Max Nagel to get himself into 10th. He would eventually come home in 8th place. Towards the end of the race, though, Fevre caught Jeffrey Hurlings, and as he was about to lap him, the Monster Energy Yamaha rider ran into the back of the Red Bull KTM and threw away the lead, handing it to Clement de Sal 3 laps from home. The Monster Energy Kawasaki then took his second race win of the season and back-to-back Grand Prix victories for Monster Energy Kawasaki. Fevre was second in the race and Paulin was third, and de Sal winning for the second successive Grand Prix. Hurlings second and Paulin was third. And that means now that Cairoli has a 47-point advantage over de Sal, who moves to second. Paulin drops to third. Hurlings is now up into fourth. Geiser, not here, stays fifth. But what a day for Monster Energy Kawasaki. What a Grand Prix here at Orléans in Russia. It was a challenging one, but it was a good one. Tony Cairoli continues to lead as we head to Italy, round 11.
Yeah, you know, it was really difficult race. You know, it was money race, so start is really important. And yeah, I'm really happy to win the overall and win the second moto. You know, I tried to stay calm on my bike and to have good start. That was not like this in first moto.